Are you looking for a flat to live in? Don't buy a flat until you watch this. I've developed a way that you could buy a flat in London at a fraction of the actual cost. This could actually work anywhere in the UK, but I'll prove to you that it works in central London. This will literally save you thousands and thousands of pounds. I'm not talking about renting a flat or buying off plan or under any help to buy scheme. If you're looking to buy a flat to live in, then do yourself a favor and use the method I've developed and save yourself thousands and thousands of pounds. I've never seen anything like this myself, and if someone had told me back when I purchased a flat in London Bridge, I probably would not have believed them. But because I've actually completed some of these projects myself, I know this works and there is no reason this can't work outside of London too. So if you're looking to buy your first flat on a residential mortgage, then please hear me out. With this strategy, I could have an apartment in West Hampstead for £10,000. Please do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button. It helps me more than you think. The first time buyer. So imagine if you were looking to purchase your first flat in London or even outside of London. The amount of money you need is eye-watering. Let me give you an example. Imagine you wanted to buy a 2-bedroom flat in West Hampstead and you were able to buy something worth £450,000. The amount of money you would need to buy this would be as follows. Assuming you put down a 20% deposit, you would need £90,000. Stamp duty would be £1,250. Legal and valuation fees would come in at roughly say £2,000. You would then need to furnish the apartment, so let's assume £7,500 for furniture. This might seem like a lot, but you might want to paint and decorate the flat and also maybe even change the flooring in some of the rooms. All in, you would need £100,750. That's a lot of money. It would take quite a bit of time to save that up. Even if there were two of you, it would take a long time to save that amount of money, especially if you are renting, as renting is more expensive when compared with making mortgage payments. My model. I developed the B4R property investing model, which stands for buy, reconfigure, refurbish, rent, and refinance. I realized I could use this framework, but in the following way: buy, reconfigure, refurbish, rest, and refinance. Using this framework, I could end up with the same apartment above in West Hampstead with only £9,637. Honestly, that's £9,637 compared with £100,750. It's actually nuts, and I had to look at the numbers a few times to see if I got my numbers correct, but the numbers actually work. If I apply this strategy to an actual project I completed, but instead of renting out the apartment, assumed I was going to refinance the apartment onto a residential mortgage, then this is how I would have ended up with a 2-bedroom apartment in West Hampstead for only £9,637. Buy. I purchased this 1-bedroom apartment for £303,750 on a bridge. A bridge is simply a bridging loan, which is a short-term loan. Reconfigure. I moved the kitchen into the living room to create an open plan kitchen diner and change the kitchen into a bedroom. Refurbish. The apartment needed a complete refurbishment, so given that I was putting in a new kitchen, I decided to completely refurbish the apartment, which included a new bathroom, a new kitchen, new flooring, and painting and decorating throughout. Rest. Normally at this stage, I would rent out the apartment once the refurbishment works are complete. But given this is a residential strategy, you simply wait until you've reached the 6-month point of ownership, at which point you can refinance the apartment onto a residential mortgage. Refinance. After 6 months of ownership, I would refinance this apartment onto a residential mortgage. As a 2-bedroom apartment, this apartment got valued at £450,000. With a residential mortgage, I would have been advanced 80% of its value. So that's £360,000. When I say me, I mean my solicitor. The incoming £360,000 would have paid down the bridge and all the other costs I would have incurred. That's a total of £369,637, meaning that I end up with a 2-bedroom flat in West Hampstead that has literally cost me £9,637 compared to the traditional way, which would have cost me £100,750. This is absolutely nuts, and I can only imagine anyone watching this probably thinks this doesn't work, isn't possible, or the numbers don't work. In essence, there must be a reason why this won't work or doesn't work, but honestly, I can't see why it wouldn't. I had to check with my broker if there was anything wrong with this approach and using the B4R model in this way, and guess what he said? Check it out. Hi Rab, if I understand the question correctly, you mean, could we have done this for an end user? Then 100% yes is the answer. I really had to check with another broker as well to see if this was actually possible, and here's what they said. Hi Rab, I've just spoken with our residential broker about buying a flat and converting it from a 1-bed into a 2/3-bedroom apartment, and they confirmed this is feasible. As mentioned on the phone, as long as the income stacked up in terms of affordability, then there are lenders who could consider this. Whilst we ourselves do not advise on residential mortgages, we do advise on regulated bridging, and this is an aspect of the process that we could assist on. We could then collaborate with our residential broker who is in the same office on the refinance, so the whole process could be swift. As ever, if you have any questions, you are more welcome to drop me an email or call. Kind regards. I then asked what the likely rates would be for the bridging loan, and my broker said, in terms of the rates for the regulated bridging, these start at 0.78% for 75% loan to value. In this instance, a 25% deposit would be required, which is higher than is needed for a residential mortgage. So what's the catch? There is no catch, but this model does make some basic assumptions, which to be honest would apply even if you were looking to buy a flat in the first place. Assumptions. In order for this strategy to work, you have to make sure you will qualify for the following: a bridging loan. If you can qualify for a residential mortgage, then getting a bridging loan will be a piece of cake. I always used to think getting a bridging loan was harder than getting a residential mortgage, but in essence, bridging loans are much easier compared to getting a mortgage. The bridging lender takes first charge over the property, so as long as you can show them an exit, they will be happy to lend. A residential mortgage. You have to make sure you qualify for a residential mortgage. Both step 1 and step 2 can be checked in advance of doing anything by speaking with a bridging and mortgage broker. Using this strategy, you will need more money upfront because you are undertaking a complete refurbishment. So in this example, you would need an extra, say, £40,000, but you will get that back on the refinance. What you have to remember is that upon the refinance, this apartment has literally cost you £9,637 compared to £100,750. That's a saving of £91,112.61. If you were looking to buy an apartment anyway, this model allows you to get so much of your initial monies back. With property prices the way they are at the moment, a lot of people are having to wait to get onto the housing ladder, but this method means that you can overcome that barrier. A lot of people tend to borrow money from their mum or dad for their first property, but this method allows you to pay that back even faster, in 8 months once the refinance goes through, compared to years and years. I appreciate this model will not be for everyone, as there is an element of uncertainty in relation to the value of the apartment as a 2-bedroom apartment, and also assumes your circumstances don't change in 6 months. In terms of the uncertainty of the value, that is a relatively easy one to overcome. You can ask the agent to provide you sold comparables for 2-bedroom apartments sold within the last 6 months within a quarter mile of the property you're looking at. You can easily do this yourself on Rightmove using sold prices. In terms of your circumstances, here I'm referring to you not qualifying for a residential mortgage. Say for example you lost your job. In any case, this would all be relevant anyway, even if you were looking to buy an apartment in the first place. I've converted lots of apartments in central London where I've used the B4R model to build up my property portfolio. Using the B4R model has allowed me to buy nearly 3 times the number of apartments when compared to the traditional way of investing. If you want to find out how I released £187,000 tax-free from one property that I own, then check out ravinderorjla.com.